So now, Radio Winchcombe, it's time to bring on my next guest on the show. It's Mr. Derek Acorah. Hello, Derek.
Hello, Lewis.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You were just saying, actually, that Winchcombe in the Cheltenham area is a really nice place. So have you ever been here before?
I certainly have. It's one of my favourite places in the country.
So have you done like a show here before? Because I know you do. You talk quite a lot.
Yes, I have. A number of times, and the people in the area have been absolutely lovely, as you know, a very giving audiences in that lovely place, yes.
And I would love to talk to you, because obviously recently, last year, we all saw you on our screens when I never thought I'd see you take part in Celebrity Big Brother. And you'd done incredibly well. When you went into the house, did you ever expect to make the final?
No, I didn't. In actual fact, Lewis, as I was leaving the day before, they come and collect you and hide you away for about 36 hours. And they sent a car, blackened out car, all the way from London for me. And they put me in the car, and I said, my wife come to the car, my son, my daughter, my grandchildren, all come to the car. And I said, don't worry, I'll be back in less than a week. I'll be voted out. And Glenn said, come on, you know, stick with this. Anyway, yeah, I was shocked. I really was shocked to stay there to the final.
And I think what everyone loved about you, you were in a house, there was so much drama, there was arguments, but you really were the peacemaker. You kept everyone together, you stayed positive, and I think that's what people liked, because everyone watching it, it got a bit intense at times, and to see you, you know, have fun and make things easy and, you know, try and get everyone talking again, it was really nice to see. So I think that's why you've done so well in the show, for just being yourself.
Well, I was absolutely really shocked and surprised, and thanked everyone when I found myself in the final for actually voting for me. And, you know, I think what I was trying to do, I think I just tried to portray who I was, my personality, my character. And I got on with virtually everyone in the house. There was drama, and there was a lot of hijinks, but then again, that happens with all young people, doesn't it?
Of course. And I think you've done very well handling it all.
Well, I mean, it was, you know what, I made a number of friends in the programme, Sean, Alan Lederer, lovely, lovely people, just to name a few. And it was an experience. The funny thing about it, Lewis, was that the channel had been asking me for the last 4.5 years to go in each year, and I turned it down. And to be honest with you, I was also being interviewed each year for Celebrity Get Me Out of Here, you know, The Jungle.
Yeah.
And my preference at that time was, I think I'd be more suited to The Jungle. Anyway, that never came about. And when they asked me again, I said, well, you know what, I'd like to have that experience. I think I'd surprise them. And they said, really? And I said, yeah. And that was it, me signing up to do it. But some people described it when they were in there as like being in a bad holiday.
Would you agree?
Well, at times, I suppose you could have said it, but every time that started happening, both Sean and I decided we'd walk the perimeters of the garden and just have a quiet chat, and Helen did it also, to get away from the chaos. And then once it calmed down, you know, back to the status quo.
What I would love to ask you is, obviously, you've got the amazing gift, and you really do change people's lives with what you do. But how did you transition from doing that to suddenly getting into television? How did that come about?
Well, I didn't seek any of it out at all. I was actually quite happy doing actually personal readings from an office in Liverpool when I got a call from Granada. That's where it all started. I was doing radio stuff with in Liverpool, where people would come on and I'd do readings for them for an hour at Radio Merseyside and Radio City. Then, of course, Granada called and asked me to go on one of their live programs, an hour-long live program called Lifetime, that used to go out between 6 and 7 p.m. Every Friday. It was like a shopping channel, so to speak, but they did other things. I went along, and I was asked would I sit with the presenter on the settee in front of cameras, naturally, and going out live. And I told her a couple of things where I could see with her, and she was shocked. And she said, "Oh my God, have the producers told you any of this stuff about me?" I said, "No." Anyway, before I knew it, after that, they called me and said to me, before I left the studios, they said, "We'd like you to come in every week now on a contract." And I said, "Yeah, okay." And I did, and after a little while, they said to me, "We'd like you to do 2 evenings. We're going to open the station up because of all the support and the viewers, and the phones are blasting off the lines. We've got to open up a new level of communications." And I said, "Okay." And then they offered me to do different shows, and it just went from there. And then, of course, naturally, when Most Haunted came along, I was asked by Vetfield would I join the team, which that happened. I didn't seek any of it out, any of my television work. It was like the production company and also the networks were the ones to ask me.
And are you glad that you'd done it? Because that's a big thing to suddenly go from doing it in the way you were doing it to being on the television in front of millions of people. So are you glad you took that step?
Absolutely, because it was experience. And any new experience has got to be good for the mind and the thoughts. And, of course, I could see, as it was going along, that an awful lot of people would tell me they were being helped by my way that I did my work, which, made me even stronger in feelings to do it. So, yeah, I had no qualms. I gained an awful lot of experience of a number of things I hadn't done before with my gifts. And, yeah, I feel television gave me the opportunity to go broader afield naturally, because once all that was happening with the television programs, I was being invited to different parts of the world: Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada, far-flung places because of that television work.
And naturally, being on television, it doesn't matter who anyone is, you get picked for so many different things. People look into things so much. And I know yourself included and many other mediums in the world, people that you've had skeptics who have accused you of being a fraud, being fake.
Yes.
How does that make you feel? Because you're clearly very passionate at what you do. So to have someone question you, does that make you feel upset? Or how do you deal with that?
Well, years ago, if that was happening, it did affect me quite a lot. And, of course, I had my family backing me, especially my wife, who stood there, with me and said, "Listen, you have the gifts, you know it. A lot of people are being helped. Take no notice of these non-believers, these skeptical or cynical minds." Cynicism and skeptical mindedness have been around for a long time and will stay for a long time. But in between that, you've got an awful lot of people in percentage that after experiencing your work, they believe in what you do. They know that you're passionate. So if you put all that together, going forward to these days, that sort of thing does not bother me one iota. I will do my work for Spirit, and I will do it honestly and truthfully, and see where I can make, in some way, a difference for people in helping them.
And in regards to that, you're actually touring quite a lot, and you go to so many different places, and people can go in and watch you live on your tour. So what can people expect from the tours? Is it very personal? Does everyone get a chance to be part of it?
Oh, yes. I mean, okay, the theatres, it depends on the size of the theatres, how many people come in and what have you. I find that I try my best. It's like a 2-hour schedule, an hour in the first section, then a 20-minute break, then another hour. And in between that time, I can get to an awful lot of people from the audience with their loved ones, and just to speak to them after the show to see what the effect has been absolutely, at times, stunning to me, and made me say it's all been worthwhile because it's helping people in the right way. As I say, cynics and skeptics, an awful lot of people like that will make a stab at you without even coming to see you. How can they make a judgment unless they see you and they go on just hearsay or another skeptical mind? If you come to an evening, you'll see for yourself and you decide whether you know that that's the truth or not the truth. And that's all I ask. If you do that, you're not going to be... How many cynical minds have come to shows with the wives or the husbands, and they've so kindly, at the end of the show, waited behind to say that before they came this evening, they didn't want to come. They'd sort of maybe down the pub with the mates having a drink, or gone to the cinema, but the wife's dragged me along, or, whatever, or my girlfriend who believes. But, put it there, mate, shake my hand, give me a hug and say, you've changed my mind, what I've just experienced. You come to my girl or my wife and told her things no one outside knows about. Never mind all the other stuff that you said. It's remarkable. And they give you a cuddle and they give you a hug. And that, you see, is also lovely as well.
It's got to be the best feeling. And like you said, in June alone, you're touring with your Love, Life, Laughter tour. And you're going to be everywhere from... you're in Blackburn tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're in Exeter. You've got dates in Evesham, which isn't that far at all from us here at the Evesham Arts Centre on the 28th of July. So people can get tickets now at your website as well. And you've got loads of different things. You've got your shop where they can buy books. And you've got loads of different things that you're up to. But apart from the tour, have you got any other upcoming projects that you can tell us about? Can we expect another TV show from you?
Well, naturally, ongoing, always, Lewis, within that industry, there are people who are making contact, either production companies or actual networks themselves. And yes, of course, we have been speaking with a couple of networks and production companies over, let's say, they're in development now at the moment. I can't say which channel is going to be. I'm not allowed to. But secondly say, yes, there are things in the not-so-distant future that I'm hoping that will be developed to such a point that we're back on television doing something really, really strong and worthwhile.
And like I said, people can go to your website, www.derecacorah.com, for a full list of tour information and different tour dates, because, like you said, you're literally in every place around the UK, so people can just little drive away and they can go and see you live in tour and experience it themselves. And even the skeptics themselves could go to the show, and like you said, they might be very surprised, and afterwards they'll probably come up to you and say, do you know what, I didn't necessarily believe us to start with, but now you've changed my mind. Yes,
and that's all I ask for a person, if they think that way. It's all very well for people who come that actually believe they've had experience of, my work. But for those who haven't, it can be a life-changing thing. It can be not so much mind-blowing, but, it makes people sit down and think, hey, and maybe they'll come a second time and they will get even more evidence of the truth of what we try to do as mediums. Really, basically, I think all mediums set out, most mediums set out to try in giving validation and receiving validation from the people who are having the readings, those connections with spirit. And whilst that is going on, the rest of the audience are listening to this, and they'll say, well, look, one after another, total stranger to Derek Acorah, and he's telling them things like, they're saying, I can't believe it. How has he said that? The theatre management, after each show, if I've done my work and worked really hard, I'm expecting management to say, the audience has gone out of here so pleased. They're all asking now, when are you coming back? So that has got to be a positive thing.
Well, Derek, it's been absolutely amazing having you on the show today. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. And you're loved, in the UK, and that's why your career has gone on for so long, and you're going to be doing so many upcoming fun projects. And I'm really excited to come and watch one of your shows myself, and I'm going to make sure I get to one of the tour dates to be part of the experience.
Well, I hope so, Lewis. I'd like to see you and meet you. And, all I can say is that I've still got the enthusiasm still running through my blood and my bones, even after 37 years.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll hopefully speak to you again soon on the show.
I hope so, Lewis.
Thanks, Derek. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.